Well, Steelers Nation, back at it with another recap of yesterday's game. What I thought went well on offense, defense, and special teams. We'll start off offensively. First two drives, they were clicking, touchdown, touchdown. 8 plays, 12 plays. First drive, running game was amazing. And then the second drive was basically the same. The run game dried up a little bit there. But the passing was where we needed it to be. And then Aaron, congratulations, passed former teammate Brett Favre for the tie at fifth they had in all-time touchdowns as he connected with DK. Then the third drive, the only other drive they had in the first half, they went 3-and-out, but there's a little bit of miscommunication on a scramble drill where Aaron threw it kind of inside of Pat. That would have been a first down, was right at the stick. So I'm not going to fault them there. They look good offensively in the first half. In the second half, started off a little rough. Interception right away on the third play on that first drive. And then 2 3-and-outs as well. So you're ending with, not getting 4 straight drives of not getting a first down offensively, which is a little rough. And then you head into the fourth quarter. First drive was another short drive with a punt, and then that was after New England tied it up. And then finally, we got the ball back. Basically, the last play or the last drive, successful drive for us. We got that touchdown to go up 21-14. So as far as offensively goes, like I said, the numbers looked good. Aaron Rodgers, not a big passing game, 16 of 23 for 139, two touchdowns. The one at the beginning, the one at the end, and then the one INT. Very atypical of Aaron Rodgers. He just didn't see Robert Spillane. If Robert wasn't there, CA3 would have had a good run after that, but that's why the defense is where they are. So he's got to get better with that. Rushing game, like I said, started off hot, but then that when you only get 3 drives in the first half, and that third one, kind of ended abruptly when you could have had the first down and you just didn't connect there. So, and then it spiraled from there. So, young offense with an aging quarterback. I'm not going to freak out about a few drives stalling here in the middle of the game, as long as they are where they need to be when the game starts and when the game ends. Receiving, CA3 had 3 catches. Jalen Warren, again, very productive out of the backfield with 5 catches. Spread the ball around. Looks like 6 different receivers with a catch and then 2 touchdown passes as well. So offensively, not the juggernaut they were in week 1, but they were a little bit better than in week 2. 21 points is pretty decent, especially for this offense and the way they're kind of gelling together with a new quarterback and a new system, learning it, as well as, he's never really thrown to any of these guys before. So I think that veteran leadership is going to astound people in the coming weeks. I think Aaron is going to help this offense immensely. Whether he's here another year after this or if he's just here this year, he's going to help these guys learn how to be better. There's a lot of young guys. Aside from DK, they're all, basically on their first contract. I know Pat just signed his extension, but the line is young and so on. So offensively, it was a good day, productive all around. Can't complain about 21 points in New England against that defense. Defensively for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the opportunistic defense was back. 5 turnovers, 4 fumbles, and 1 interception led to an amazing defensive game. You look at the numbers, they dominated us offensively, but Pittsburgh's always been an opportunistic defense. That's kind of what was missing in the first few weeks. You didn't have the big turnovers that you needed when you needed them. And then you also had a big sack output, 5 sacks total, 2 from TJ. And then Nick Herbig on the other side getting the start for Alex had 1. Derek Harmon, impressive. Had a huge run stop at the beginning of the game and then also had a sack. So that's why he was the number 1 pick, and glad to see him out there and healthy and good to go. Brian Eccles with the one pick of the day. I know Chuck Clark had a few bounce off his hands, and but like I said, the opportunistic defense, you had a whole bunch of fumbles created, 4 of them. I don't know, there might have been more created, but we recovered 4, obviously. And then I can't talk enough about the guys in the middle, the linebackers. Patrick Queen is looking really good. Wilson, he's going to have his growing pains, but he had another great game. I think he actually caused a fumble or 2. And then it's good to see Kelly Holcomb out there looking really good after basically 2 years off after that injury. And then, the rest of the guys, it was nice to see Jabril Peppers with a big game as well, headed back to New England, the team that, just basically cut him and let him go. So, and then I guess rounding out the sack numbers, I already talked about Derek, or TJ, not Derek. Cam had the other sack. So that looks good. As far as the injuries, we've got a lot of the back end guys out. Darius Slay got hurt in the game, but he came back, and the other guys should be coming back soon. I don't know how long Alex is going to be out. I think it was a high ankle sprain, so he might be out a little bit longer. But the defense turned it around. They got back to their opportunistic ways, and the turnovers is what they've always done. Everybody complains about the bend don't break, but it's finally they're not breaking. So looked good defensively, and I'm not going to complain about the yardage because that's going to even it out eventually. I think this offense is going to really astound people because it's going to come around. In the past, we were dealing with a bunch of young kids, but I think the veteran leadership from DK and Aaron is going to make them better. And then obviously the defense is what it is, and there's basically all veterans out there, so I think they're going to continue to do well. As far as special teams go, we had one kick return from Kenneth Gainwell. Obviously, they only had probably 3 kickoffs in the game. And then as far as punting goes, we only forced 1 punt, but I mean, when you have 5 turnovers, there's not going to be really a lot of opportunities for them to punt. But Corliss Waitman had an impressive game. Averaged 42.3, 3 inside the 20 out of his 4 punts. I think they made the right decision going with him instead of Cameron Johnston. But, I mean, Cameron's a good punter. I think he got signed recently in Minnesota. I'm not really sure where he's at. The Bosinator didn't really need to be on display today, just with 3 extra points. Didn't need any 60-yarders out of him or any field goals, so he did well with his extra points. And special teams, the coverage unit was pretty good. Didn't have a lot of big returns out of them. Looks like about 20, 24 yards or so for the returns on that. So that, like I said, that wasn't bad. He had the one gaff last week, and they corrected that by replacing the young kid. And I mean, hopefully he gets a shot again eventually down the line, but he's got to learn from his growing pains. Throughout the video, I've kind of gone over what I think this team is going to be. They're going to get better. You got a leadership on that offense finally, as opposed to Russell Wilson, the rah-rah cheerleader. You saw him last night, shit the bed, prime time, and throw some ridiculous balls. But I think Aaron is saying the right things, doing the right things. He's not being his usual truculent self. I think he's enjoying his time in Pittsburgh. I think he enjoys the coaching staff, and he's getting along well with them. I'd like to see him and DK hook up a little bit more. DK's supposed to be a deep threat. We're not really getting a lot of deep balls out of him. 15-yard long yesterday, but it's kind of a dink and dunk. It's what you're going to get, trying to figure out that offense without any preseason play out of the offense. You're basically at the end of your preseason right now. This is the 3rd game in, so heading over to Ireland for the Vikings. We'll see how that goes. And have a good day.